In back-to-back days, I'm going to have done three things that I rarely do, perhaps that I've never done. Last night, I defended both LeBron James and the mainstream media, two frequent targets here on the channel. Tonight, I'm actually going to agree with Stephen A. Smith. Well, actually, Stephen A. Smith is agreeing with me because I made this same point before the NFL regular season even began. While all these so-called experts on ESPN were claiming Tom Brady's divorce would have absolutely zero impact on him this season, this man's invincible! Nothing bothers the GOAT! Some pesky little divorce will have no impact on Superman! Here on the channel, we were one of very, very few that predicted this exact thing was going to happen. Now, how did I know? Because I've been through it before. Men and women, we process emotions differently. Women express their feelings. They express their emotions, which, to be honest with you, is probably the healthy way to handle it. When a relationship ends for a woman, she's talking to her friends, she's talking to her family, her parents. Hell, she's talking to everybody. Dudes ain't like that. We tend to hide our emotions. We have a tendency to put on a brave face, keep everything inside, pretend everything's okay. Me and my girlfriend, we've been together for about a year now. If we broke up, which to be clear, we're not, we're stronger than ever, but if we broke up, I would be lying to you guys if I told you that the breakup would have no impact on the channel. Now, it'd be a temporary impact, but the content would be impacted. Fresh ideas would come to a halt. For a few days, I imagine the uploads would be less frequent. Women are great multitaskers. They're really good at handling emotion. Most men, we have one-track minds. We're hyper-focused on our goals. We're hyper-focused on what we're trying to accomplish. We've got to have stability at home in order for us to be 100% effective. I think I told you guys before, for me to be at my best here on the channel, everything else has got to be in order. I'm just producing content on YouTube. Think about what Tom Brady's trying to do. At 45 years old, in the most competitive league in the world, the margin for error in the NFL is razor thin. Who's the best team in the league? Who's the worst? We don't know. The difference between the best and worst team is about 3 points. This season, there have been more games decided by one possession than at any other point in league history. The NFL is competitively balanced. I've been with my girl for a year, and a breakup would impact me. Tom Brady has been with Giselle for what? I don't know, 15 years now? And I'm supposed to be surprised that he's not focused? I'm supposed to be surprised that he is struggling in the most competitive league in the world? Stephen A. Smith tried to make this same point earlier this morning on First Take. I'm not even going to call it woke take today because Stephen A. was speaking the truth. What made this segment interesting, even awkward, was the reaction from the two woke women on the set. Stephen A. Smith is already in Molly Qerim's doghouse. He is neighbors with Pastor Jalen Rose in Molly Qerim's backyard overlooking Brokeback Mountain. Earlier this month, during a segment on First Take, they celebrated the birthday of Chris Russo. Now, Chris Russo, he falls into the classification here on the channel of normal people, meaning there were no woke hug celebrations, there was no pirate pounding or butt bongo bashing. It was your typical birthday celebration that normal people have every year. Molly Qerim made the comment that day that Chris Russo's wife was making a birthday cake from scratch at home. Stephen A. Smith said something to the effect of, "You better not eat his cake, Molly, like you ate mine." If you saw her reaction to that statement, you would have thought Stephen A. was fat-shaming her. "How dare you talk about my weight? I'm a female birthing person, damn it!" Even though it was somewhat of a big story at the time, I didn't share it with you guys because, to be honest, I just thought it was stupid. But the reason I mention it today is because it highlights how woke women are constantly looking for something to offend them. They're constantly looking for a man to slip up. If he doesn't slip up, they just pretend that he does. It could be anything. You could be explaining something to a woke woman. "Why is he talking to me that way? He's mansplaining." If you say the WNBA is boring, "Ugh, look at that toxic masculinity. He's just not smart enough to appreciate high-level dump diving." The Bucks are playing the Ravens tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football, which is something the NFL should have done away with years ago. The quality of play on Thursday night is absolutely atrocious. When the NFL started doing this, it was kind of unfair to college football. Thursday nights used to be a premier night for college football. It was one of the biggest games of the week. There were some classic Thursday night games at Virginia Tech Lane Stadium. Most of the time, the ACC was heavily featured on Thursday nights, but they have moved away from big games in college football on Thursday because they know everybody's going to be watching the NFL. But anyway, they were hyping up the game tomorrow night on ESPN this morning. This is a must-win for Tom Brady. The season's on the line. That's the one part of his rant where I completely disagreed with Stephen A. Smith. I know he doesn't know shit about the NFL. This is another example of that. But the NFC South is the worst division in the league by far. Now, I ain't complaining about it. Thank God the division sucks. At 2-5, somehow my Saints are still in playoff contention. We could even get a home playoff game at this point. But Stephen A., he started focusing on the struggles of Tom Brady. More specifically, the reason Tom Brady is struggling. Now, none of this will be new to you guys since we've said it throughout the regular season. But watch the reaction of Molly Qerim and that other female birthing person on set. Roll the film.
Now, obviously, he's going through some things, and it's just the latest nugget of evidence of the power that y'all possess. And I'll just leave it at that, okay? The fact that y'all got, I'm going to sit up there and tell you that this is what happened to Adam, okay? It's what happened to Adam. Since
we
the
took
beginning
it
of time,
all the way to the book of Genesis.
Go to the book of
Lord
Genesis, okay? This is the power. This is the power of the women. I mean, we all know. If we didn't know there was any truth or we didn't speculate or whatever, I'm not getting into
Today has raised me.
How do you think the women feel?
Allow me this.
It's not one-sided.
It is not a complaint. See, that's the problem with y'all.
That's
it
the
is
problem
not a
with y'all.
complaint. This is what I'm saying.
Yes.
It is a compliment. It is not a complaint. I'm acknowledging that is the impact that y'all have.
Oh.
So in other words, all these things, I mean, the man takes out one team after another, win one Super Bowl championship after another. The second speculation comes about in regards to him, he looked like it's time for him to retire. You see that? You see this? And it's not a fault, because I love me some Giselle. It's not anybody's fault. It's none of my business. I'm just saying he don't look like himself. He looked like a brother that's on the verge of needing to be home and in the booth on Sunday afternoons. We have never said that about Tom Brady before. We're saying that now. You cannot afford to lose this game.
I mean, the dude was trying to compliment women in his own way. He was talking about the impact women can have on a man's career, which that impact can be both positive or negative. What's that old saying? Behind every great man is a great woman. The opposite of that is also true. Behind the fall of a great man is a woman. And when I say that, I'm not blaming the woman by any stretch. Or in this case, I'm not blaming Gisele Bündchen for what's going on with Tom Brady. I don't know anything about their personal life or relationship, couldn't give a fuck less about it. What I am saying, the problems at home are definitely having a negative impact on Tom Brady's performance on the field. When we talked about this before the season, I was reacting to NFL analysts on ESPN saying it wouldn't impact Tom Brady on Sundays. Once the game begins, the divorce will be the last thing on his mind. He won't be thinking about that woman. This man is a competitor. The only thing he will be thinking about is winning. I mean, that's probably true. On the field, I doubt he's tearing up over his divorce. I was talking about the impact it would have Monday through Saturday. The most important day of the NFL week, it ain't Sunday. The other 6 days, those are the most important. This is not the NBA where talent alone can win you games during the regular season. Where this is hurting Tom Brady the most is his preparation. It is damn near impossible for a dude to be laser focused when life at home's burning faster than a blunt in the hands of Cheech and Chong. These woke women on First Take took what was supposed to be a compliment as an insult. This could have actually been a fascinating discussion, but instead of giving a true female perspective on what's going on, they wanted to huff and puff and display a very mild case of fake outrage. Speaking of woke women on First Take, Jemele Hill is now proudly claiming to be the runner-up host on First Take. I mean, only a huge embarrassing failure would brag about being second place, second choice. She was on some podcast promoting her encyclopedia on mythical racism and said, if ESPN didn't go with Stephen A. Smith, they were going to choose me, Smelly Jamelli. I'm the official runner-up. She also said she was considered for the moderator role on the show. Could you imagine what that would have looked like? This show's already woke as fuck. Could you imagine if Jamel Hill were leading the conversations? Stephen A., give me your thoughts on Orange Man Bad. Skip, I need to ask you a serious question. Are you willing to apologize on national television for your white privilege? Stephen A., how do you prefer your woke wiener, boiled or grilled? Thankfully, she didn't get either role. That decision was made before ESPN consulted with the Virgin surgeons on Twitter. But let me know what you think. Is Tom Brady's divorce the primary reason that he is struggling this season? Give me your thoughts on Stephen A. Smith. Do you agree with his take, or were the women in the right pretending to be offended? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.